What's happening, guys? Jeff Robbins here. Welcome back to the channel. So our local kart championship just finished up, and proud to say my son won the 100cc senior championship. We ran this KA100 all year long, and he drove great all year, so huge shout out to him for that. So now that it's the off season, let's go ahead and let's get this thing rebuilt so it's ready for next year. I'm going to do this video in two parts. So the first part will be just the complete teardown all the way down to the crank so that you guys know how to tear these things down. And then in the second video, we'll go ahead and get it rebuilt, top and bottom end. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking how I hone my cylinders when I do rebuilds. So we're definitely going to go over how I hone the cylinder when I do a top end rebuild. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
Sprint, we now move to Grand Prix qualifying. Order crucial as we continue the title running. It's an hour of laps at the limit to set the grid for the 21st Grand Prix of the year. Welcome to Interlagos. What has already been a dramatic day for Formula 1 drivers title 2025. 4.3 kilometers, 2.6 miles. We're now setting the grid for the 71 lap Sao Paulo Grand Prix to be run tomorrow. The elevation is 43 meters and Valtteri Bottas still has the lap record. Set back in 2018. Tyre graphic, the soft, the medium and the hard, the C4, the C3 and the C2. Across this weekend, the soft tyre not too long, but it is dry out there. The temperature is 43 degrees, the air temperature is up 26. Interlagos ready to see its second Act 1 with dramatic telling, but we have different conditions for a session that will be delayed because just like the sprint race, we have had cars in the barriers and the support races in between, and turns 10 and 11 barrier repairs need to continue. We had another barrier repair down at turn 1 after Gabriel Bortoletto's enormous accident. Thank goodness he's okay, and the delay of this qualifying session gives an opportunity to get Bortoletto in a Grand Prix qualifying session for the first time on home soil.
Yeah, amazing job from Salvo. Look, they're getting
looked on track or looked up at the screens that have been showing the support series, someone's been in the wall. There was one drop at turn 1, smacked it alternate style. One time at turn 2. You said 10 and 11 now, there's some repairs going on. That's interlarded, it's classic. It's a polishing circuit, it's a great racetrack, and it rewards the finer details. It does indeed, so it's been a Lando Norris kind of weekend. In sprint qualifying, in the sprint race, second year in a row, sprint race in last year's was a gift from his teammate. This year, all the way to the checkered flag. He's now championship leader by 9 points. Holding the seat. Enthusiast through many years, over 2 decades at Ferrari, Audi F1 project. Last few races, won 4 rounds of the race in 2025. All of the car, that's how it looks like. Still plenty to do for them. So, yeah, Fortunato not yet in the car. Piastri in the car looks so before the prodigal when I was down there, but Oscar's not in the car either. They will be fine-tuning it. Big changes as well for Audi. Chassis got into it. That much, but it's a classic. And they've managed to do that. Here it is the Audi garage, and it looks nicely serene. Gearbox switch for Nico Hulkenberg as well. Before available to him. So Sauber is running flat out. I'm going to tell you a moment that I'm not sure captures the cameras captured earlier on. We were all watching the post-show at home. Gabriel Bortoleto from his Red Bull team ran flat out back to the Sauber garage and was cheered by all those in the grandstand. As a classic, I'm fine. You repair my car, you've got to let me qualify the car. The E7G impact and sprinting moments later. It's like the tales of old, isn't it? Where you used to crash the car and run back to take the spare car and go again. We used to have spare cars in Formula 1. Now you wouldn't be able to do that, of course, in a ref-like situation, but there is a spare car that they've been able to build up for qualifying. So Hulkenberg's getting ready to fire it. We're going to be going in just less than 5 minutes. It's eager from Hulkenberg with a gearbox change. You want to get out there and make sure everything's right. Tickety-boo. Yeah, there's already a queue headed by, I believe, the Williams of Carlos Sainz at the end of the campaign. Making their way.
So this is a little holder that you can get from IAME, and it slides right in here over the top of the Bendix, and it holds the ring gear so that you can remove the nut off the end of the crank.
They'll strike up a song, and then it's like the away end in a football ground. And then suddenly we've had chance for Enzo Senna, we've had chance for Gabriel Bortoleto. It is spicier. As I was walking up the pit,
And allows you to remove this one as well.
absolutely kicking off. There's a huge amount of security as well. And Bortoleto, big time, he was before the crash, he was racing hard with Albon, and the crowd were going wild for him. I'll show you another angle of that pretty scary accident, we have to say. This is on board. It's a cab. Violence, 57G impact. Steering wheel loose in his hands. He was
little key underneath there that makes sure you don't lose.
Well, it did seem to be pretty costly though in the end, that both cars finishing just outside the top 10 in that sprint for you guys. How would you reflect on maybe what you learned from that race, but also the pace you showed?
Yeah, I think pace was good. Potential pace was good, which I think we kind of knew before. If you look at our high fuel pace or sustained running pace in FP1, it's just the issue was yesterday in the sprint quali, we didn't maximize the potential. So we know that if we are ahead, we can control the pace, we can race strongly. So that's our focus here.
Alright, so to get the clutch off, there's a nut right here, and it's actually reverse threaded. So you got to go forward to take it off. Put the little ring gear holder back in. Make sure you're going forward, and then just impact this guy right off of here. Just like that. Alright, so to get this ring gear off, another IAME tool, and this just threads on the inside of the clutch. Just like that. And if this is the first time you're doing this, you may want to keep track of your screws. I just don't have time for that, and I've done it so many times that I just don't need to worry about it. But if it's your first time, I would recommend keeping track of what screws you pull out of where. And when I pull the cylinder off, I just like to rotate the piston so it's pretty close to bottom dead center. That way it doesn't fall and smack its head on the cylinder. Okay, so we got to get these bearings out, and to do that I use a heat gun, and what I'm going to do is just heat the case, get it real nice and hot. It takes probably about 5-6 minutes to heat it up to where it gets hot enough, and then all you have to do is just tap that out. So once it's hot, all I'll do is just give it some little baby taps, and it should fall right out. I don't like to hit it hard, and I don't like to put it in the press to press these out either. I've seen a lot of videos and you can do it that way. I just prefer heating it up, and when you do that, they essentially just fall right out, and you do the same thing when you put them back in, heat up the case, and they just drop right back in. So that's what I'm going to do right now. This will probably be the only spot of the video that I end up time-lapsing. Wow. Max Verstappen just got knocked out in Q1. That's crazy. See, and if it doesn't fall out with just some baby taps, it's not hot enough, so you got to keep going. Baby taps, falls right out, and you don't got to worry about damaging your case. Careful with this bearing because this joker is going to be hot. So when you build these, you have to measure the clearance or the distance that the axle moves back and forth within the case. It's called the axial clearance. And to do that, or to adjust it, you have to install these little spacers. So when you open your engine, you may or may not find these in there. If they are in there, definitely don't lose them, because there's a good chance you'll need to put these back in once you're done. Alright, both bearings out. It's pretty simple. Just get yourself a heat gun, get it real nice and hot, and they just fall right out for you. Okay, last but not least, we need to split the crank. So again, these are tools that you can get from IAME. And definitely having the right tools makes the job so much easier. So here's the little jig you can get. And you know, I could probably put the part numbers in the description. If you wanted these parts, I'm an IAME dealer, so you could definitely just hit me up and I could definitely get them ordered for you. But this is what we'll be using to split the crank. So you've got this little housing down here at the bottom. It's got this little lid. It's got this little piece that slides up under the lip here so that the crank isn't rocking once you put some pressure on it. And then it's got a little push pin right here. So I'm gonna stop the camera, I'm gonna get this moved over underneath the press, and then we'll press this crank apart. Okay, so I've got the crank in here underneath my press. And I did get a new press. This is a 20-ton press. I had been using a 12-ton press. And the 12-ton did get the job done, but I think I was maxing the press essentially every time I was using it, and it started leaking on me. And since I've started using this 20-ton press, it's just so much easier to get the job done. So if you're going to get a press, I would recommend going with the 20. Go ahead and skip the 12. The 12 will work for you, but you'll definitely be maxing it out. So let's go ahead. And all I'm going to do is press the pin, and I'm going to press it out. So the crank web is going to fall out. It's going to have the crank pin in it, and it's going to fall out with the rod in it as well. And then what we'll do is we'll flip it over, and then we've got to press the pin out the other way. You want to press the pin from the outside of the web in. So that's what we're going to do. Once you get a little pressure on there, just make sure everything's where it needs to be. Make sure your push pin's centered and it's not going to drag down the side of your crank as this pushes through. So before you pull the rod off of your crank pin, make sure to take note of the orientation. So the web that I've already pulled off is going to be the ignition side. So what I'm going to do is pull the rod off. And before I do anything, see if I can find a Sharpie. Well, unfortunately, I do not have a Sharpie handy, but what I would normally do is, since this is the side that was on the side of the ignition, I would put a little eye right here. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my IAME logo right here, and on this side we've got a serial number or whatever that is. So I'm just going to have to remember that the side of my rod that says IAME needs to face towards the ignition side. And these crank bearings all all the little rollers in it are loose. So if you just went and pulled this, this bearing off, all the little rods are gonna fall over the place. So all I do is grab my 13 mil socket and slide this up so that all those little rods don't fall over, all over the place. I mean, that bearing's garbage anyways, but just helps keep things a little more organized. And now all we need to do is flip this guy over. It's got a little thrust washer right here. This will get replaced, so go ahead and remove it. And there was one on the other side too that was stuck to the web. Put our lid back on. Make sure your crank pin is centered, as well as centered up underneath the press. We can go ahead and push this side out. And it, like I mentioned, we're pushing it from the outside in. And our crank is split. I mean, you can see some wear on it visually, but I can't. Oh, I can feel it a little bit with my fingernail. And this crank pin has been in here. God, I did a bottom end right before Challenge of the Americas, so I don't know. We've maybe got 8 weekends, I would say, on this. And I change these out more than I really need to. I think the rule of thumb is you can do 50 hours on the bottom end. I do mine minimum at the first of every year. And then if I've got a big national race that we're going to do, I would definitely put in a new bottom end. But once a year, you'd definitely be fine with the bottom end. But that's it, guys. That's how you split the bottom end. Okay, guys, so I've got this thing completely gutted. So over here I've got my case halves, cylinder in the head, got the starter, clutch drum, got the crank webs, got the rod, I've got my Bendix right here, got my reed cage, top conveyor, got my clutch hub, ring gear, chain guard, stator, got the starter holder and Bendix holder. So everything's torn apart. So all I've got to do is I've got to get all this cleaned up. I definitely won't bore you guys with that, but I'm going to clean everything up spotless, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get this thing put back together. So I mean, as long as you got the right tools, guys, this is a simple job. I mean, really the only thing specialized you're going to need, a couple IAME tools, the one to pull the ring gear. Obviously, if you're going to be splitting your own crank, you're going to need to get the stuff to split the crank. Get yourself a press. But pretty simple job, guys. Didn't take too long. So all right, so in the next one, part 2, what we're going to do is we'll get this thing put back together. And just remember, I'm going to show you guys how to hone the cylinder on this next one. So as always, guys, I appreciate you for tuning in. Plan your race, race your plan. Have a good time at the track.